We'll look at the runtime for each volume, and we will also take a look at the length of time throughout that runtime that is dedicated to fight scenes, and we'll compare them from the early volumes to the latter volumes right now. What's up, heroes? This is going to be a really interesting video. Let me give you the backstory on it first, though. So on my Discord server, on the RWBY part of the server, if you're not in the server, by the way, you should definitely join it. Yes, we have a RWBY channel there. Very active, very cool people. Anyways, on the RWBY part of my server, I saw someone posted a link, one of the members there, to a Reddit post saying the study of the percentage of fight scenes with the volumes. Now, of course, this Reddit post is the one we're going to go over in this video, but the rest of the backstory is funny. So I go over to that post, I take a look at it. It's amazing, amazing job the poster did putting all this together, the data, compiling it together. I'll show you all that stuff in a moment. And I decided to give them a Reddit gold because they did such a good job on that post. Went back over to my Discord server, and then I realized that the person who made that Reddit post is also the person who posted it on the Discord. I thought it was two different people. I thought the Discord server member was just posting the Reddit post in the server. I didn't realize they were the same person. So it was just kind of funny. Anyways, in this video, we will be going over that study and what it means for the show moving forward, all that sort of good stuff. And one final thing to mention that's also funny. This morning, myself, I was putting together a little 45-second video to post on Twitter comparing like then versus now. And it was literally comparing how then was like all about the fights and now is all about the ships. And then I saw this posted in the Discord and on Reddit, and it's just great timing. With that said, let's get into it. Welcome back. So here we are over on Reddit. My friend Starsky3012 making the post. I suggest if you guys would like to also give him a thanks for this, maybe just at least go to the post and give it an upvote. Give him some karma there because he did put a lot of work together. You'll see in just a moment how thorough the spreadsheet is. But let's give you the full backstory on it first before we dive in. Hello everyone, I dedicated a considerable amount of hours now to making timestamps for all the fight scenes we got so far and compiling them into a file to compare them to each other. Under the following link, you can have a look at my findings. Scroll down a little bit here. Disclaimer. These statistics are obviously biased by my own perceptions, but it should at least be valuable as a good estimation. These values also don't really give any detail on how good the fight scenes are in their respective volumes. If anyone fancies doing it, I'd welcome him or her to take a look at the timestamps I made and see how many actions there were in the scene, i.e. how often a gun was shot or a sword swung. Any further restrictions or details about how I came to the figures I got are in the spreadsheet. I hope this list will give you a bit of a better foundation to argue on besides a feeling of it felt like there were more fights, or whatever else you might feel about how the show has progressed in this particular field. P.S. If you have any more interesting categories that could be calculated by the data provided in the sheet, let me know and I'll try to add it to the graph section of the spreadsheet as soon as possible. Also, if you know that something like this has already been made, let me know. It would be interesting to see which conclusions other people may have come to on this topic. Okay, so as you can see, we are over here on the spreadsheet now. It's a lot to take a look at, and I actually do have a little notepad with the really relevant information that I want to take a look at in this video. Now, to be fair, this could all be considered relevant depending on what you're looking for, but what I really want to look for in this video is the comparison for the length of time dedicated to fight scenes throughout volume 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and comparing the latter volumes to the prior volumes in terms of the content there, the content in a fight scene, because that is certainly what attracted a lot of people to RWBY. The fights, we used to love the fights, and we still do love the fights, but are the fights decreasing? Are we getting less fights now? Are we getting less screen time dedicated to these awesome fights that we love, that pulled so many people into the show? According to this data here, yes, we actually are. Now, I know you don't have the exact numbers up there right now, so let me start showing you how this spreadsheet will work, and I'll show you the data at hand that proves that to be the case, at least according to this study, it alleges. So we have, some descriptions up here. Characters running towards or away from something doesn't count. I guess basically let's start with the rules from the beginning. Rules for timestamps. Number 1, characters running towards or away from something doesn't count as a fight scene. Rule number 2, a cool scene usually means smooth, acrobatic scenes. Number 3, the time of actual moves in a fight is being taken, not the overall screen time of scenes that belong to a fight. Number 4, scenes in which there are less than 3 to 4 seconds Actual action seconds are usually not counted. Number 5, fight scenes that can be seen in the intro or outro of a chapter aren't counted. Number 6, the length of each chapter is its complete length with ads being shown prior to it, etc., as seen on Rooster Teeth's websites. So these are the rules that the user followed for making the spreadsheet, and I think these are good rules. I think it makes sense, and they're just giving you this as a disclaimer so you know what they judged the merit of a fight scene, basically. So with that said, now let's start taking a look at the length of time of these fights in each volume. So if we scroll to the right, you can see the areas here. Complete volume time, hours and seconds, minutes and seconds, seconds total, percentage of fight or cool scenes in volume 1. So you have the complete runtime, and then you also have the percentage of that runtime that was dedicated to cool scenes. And it says volume 1 here, but this is how it's going to go for every volume according to this study. So volume 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 will all include all this relevant information. The complete volume time, the hours and seconds, the minutes and seconds, the seconds total, and that percentage figure. So instead of going through all of the data right now, let me just show you what in my mind is really relative to this video, and that's going to be the runtime, because I think that's going to be interesting to see. We'll look at the runtime for each volume, and we will also take a look at the length of time throughout that runtime that is dedicated to fight scenes, and we'll compare them from the early volumes to the latter volumes right now. Okay, so now there is a notepad in the middle of the screen. Whoa, what's that doing there? Well, let me explain. This notepad is information I pulled from the spreadsheet here, but I compiled it in the notepad to make it a little bit easier to see. Again, this is what I'm considering relevant data for the video. I want to focus on this stuff, but there's a bunch of good information in the spreadsheet. I'll leave a link in the description if you guys want to take a look at that. Also, of course, I mentioned the Reddit post. I'll link the Reddit post as well so you guys can go over there and give it a thumbs up if you like and all that good stuff. So anyways, going back to this though, at hand we have the runtime and the fight time percentages in the center of the screen there, as you can see. So I want to compare the runtime for each volume because I think that's going to be interesting to take a look at. And then we'll also take a look at the fight time percentage. So runtime for volume 1, and disclaimer, the spreadsheet did also include the seconds. I took the seconds off it for my notepad here because I just wanted to keep things as simple as possible, to be quite honest. So volume 1, we have 2 hours and 7 minutes. 2 hours and 7 minutes. Volume 2, we have 2 hours and 48 minutes. So a little bit more than 30 minutes there, increase. Volume 3, 3 hours and 19 minutes. So again, close to that 30-minute increase. Volume 4, 3 hours and 32 minutes. So only about a 13-minute increase there. Volume 5, 4 hours and 6 minutes. So back to that 30-minute-ish increase. And then Volume 6, 3 hours and 53 minutes. Whoa. So almost 10 minutes less. So Volume 6 actually had less runtime than Volume 5 did. And just like the creator of the spreadsheet says, they're not taking into account the length with ads being shown. And that was definitely a big problem with Volume 6. For those of you that remember, a lot of complaints, myself included, I also didn't like this. A lot of the runtime in Volume 6 was dedicated to these Genlock ads. Like you had the default Rooster Teeth ads, and then you had like a Genlock ad in every video that also took time. Even in the finale, they had it too. So that was pretty annoying. And that probably contributed to the decreased runtime here. Although to be fair to the viewers, to be fair to us, the fans, Rooster Teeth could have made the chapters longer knowing that they were going to shove a Genlock ad in there, but they didn't do that, as you can see here, at least according to the data. And just off my own research as well, at the end of Volume 6, I did add up the total length of runtime for Volume 6, and I did Volume 5. I didn't do all the other volumes, though, but Volume 6 and Volume 5, it was indeed less. I don't remember the exact figures, but I did come out to a figure that was less than the Volume 5 runtime as well. So I do believe this study is pretty close to accurate, if not entirely accurate. Now, let's move to the fight time percentage. So according to the study, in Volume 1, 11.22% of screen time was dedicated to these fight scenes. Volume 2, 10.90% was dedicated to these fight scenes, so slightly less, but pretty much right around the same. Volume 3, 16.99%, so more than the prior two volumes. 16.99% was dedicated to fight scenes, and that makes sense. We had the whole Vital Festival going on there in the tournament and all that jazz. Fall of Beacon, lots of fights in Volume 3. But then Volume 4, oh my goodness, look at this huge fall off. Volume 4, only 6.77% of screen time was allegedly dedicated to fight scenes. Volume 5 saw a slight increase, about 1%, increasing that figure to 7.87%, which is still a far cry even from Volume 1, which had 11.22%. And then finally, Volume 6 apparently has the least amount of runtime dedicated to fight scenes at a very low 6.47% figure, almost half of the screen time of fight scenes that we had in Volume 1. So this is very telling. This is very telling. Like I said, there's a lot of other cool data in the spreadsheet as well, but I really wanted to focus on this information right here. Alrighty, so that's all I want to really take a look at in this video regarding the spreadsheet. Again, there's a lot of cool information on there, but I mostly want to focus on the runtime. We saw that the runtime indeed was degrading from Volume 6 to Volume 5. And the length of time for the fights, it's absolutely baffling to me. That what was that figure? We had a 6.47% of screen time for fights in Volume 6. That's so minuscule. Volume 5, Volume 4, wow, it really fell off in all of those. And I wasn't one of the people that hated on Volume 4, to be honest. I thought it was kind of refreshing to see each of the RWBY girls and like their family and get more backstory on them. I liked Volume 4 for those reasons, but Volume 5, I have to admit, it was starting to, I was starting to dissociate myself a little bit with RWBY, although I still loved it. It didn't have that same pull that the prior volumes did. And then after Volume 6, it was just rough. And Volume 6 did have some good parts to it, to be fair. Like The Lost Fable, I thought was an amazing chapter. Volume 6, Chapter 3, amazing. But you can definitely feel the quality being, well, the quality degrading somewhat, and the screen time being put into other avenues. For example, showing these ships. And it is what it is, I suppose. But I hope for the best in Volume 7, and I am definitely nervous because if the show continues to decrease in quality, I'm very worried about its longevity, and it would be a shame for a show that had so much potential to end up being a rather, well, to be frank, a letdown. Hopefully that's not going to be the case, but we'll see. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did and you'd like to support this channel directly, keep in mind, a lot of the content I make on this channel is not the most friendly for advertisers. Some of it's controversial, apparently. I don't know. Gets yellowed and all that stuff. So if you'd like to support this channel, consider sending a donation through PayPal or Streamlabs. You can do a one-time donation through either of those, links below, or become a monthly sponsor over on Patreon and get some cool perks for that as well. And of course, you're more than welcome to also join our Discord server. That's open to the public. You're more than welcome to come say hi there, now with over 3K members. And other things you can do to support this channel and the video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, share the video over on Twitter. That also helps out. And on that note, I have some shout outs for the video. Epic Games DOX, their own customer, sends private info to wrong person. I'm so glad you guys enjoyed this video. It's almost at 10K views today. It's performing better than I expected, to be honest, because it's not the type of content I normally make. Yeah, it's not too far from the content I normally make, but the gaming niche I don't cover so often. So I'm really glad you guys enjoyed that one. Shouts out for the promotions over on Twitter to Dusk Wolf, The Burning Magician, Mr. E, Crispy No Ken, Saradan, Random Fandom, Stormy, Just Bad Wolf, Nerd Circer, U.S. Marshal, Matt Dillon. Thank you, Matt Dillon. Appreciate that. Drac Caprico. Thank you all very much. I see you and I appreciate it. And I hopefully will see you soon as well in the next one. Peace.